So, what if I told you that there's this one simple, almost invisible force that's shaping your entire future? And nope, it's not luck and it's not fate. Today, we're going deep into The Power of Decision Making by Manoj Tripathi. We're going to uncover how the thousands of choices you make every single day are the real architects of your destiny, whether you realize it or not. To really get this, let's talk about Alex. Now, Alex is a super bright young professional, but he's kind of trapped in this sea of corporate gray in London. His days are just this monotonous loop, you know? Lukewarm coffee, endless spreadsheets, and a commute that feels like it's stealing his soul piece by piece. He's on a treadmill, literally running at full speed, but his life just isn't moving an inch. I mean, the numbers tell the whole story. He's consistently pulling 60-hour weeks, thinking that more effort has to equal more success. But his bank account? It's stubbornly stagnant, a constant reminder that all that hard work isn't really getting him anywhere. His stress is through the roof, and that ambitious fire he had when he started, well, it's pretty much just a faint ember now. He feels like he's losing the game of life before it's even really begun. And here's the crazy part that kept him so stuck. It wasn't a lack of opportunity. It was the crushing weight of having way too many options. You know the feeling, right? Should he switch careers, go for an MBA, start a side hustle? The sheer number of potential paths just created this total cognitive overload. It's called analysis paralysis, and it was so bad that it led him to make no choice at all. And of course, making no choice is a choice. It's the choice to stay exactly where you are. But then, on a particularly miserable Tuesday, Alex ducks into a small, quiet bookstore to get out of a sudden downpour. And there, just tucked away on a shelf, was a book that wasn't just going to be a temporary distraction, it was going to be a playbook for a whole new life. And you have to understand, this book, published by Penguin Business, isn't just a collection of feel-good quotes. Oh no. It's a practical, step-by-step guide for anyone who feels like they're just reacting to life instead of actually designing it. It's all about taking back the controls, one decision at a time. It's a real, structured system, which is exactly why it's resonated with so many people. And hey, if you're serious about peak performance and high-impact living, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button. That way, you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into transformative ideas just like these. Okay, let's really dive in. So how did Alex actually turn things around? Well, the book lays out these 5 powerful pillars that we're going to walk through together. We're going to uncover the invisible forces that control your day, learn the true meaning of a decision, break free from that paralysis, master the tiny choices that have the biggest impact, and finally, step into your power as the architect of your own destiny. So our journey starts with a number that might just blow your mind. See, most of us think we make a few key decisions each day, but the reality? It is far more staggering. And understanding this scale is the very first step to taking back control. The book reveals that the average adult makes about 35,000 remotely conscious decisions every single day. Just let that sink in. That's over 2,000 decisions an hour, or one every 2 seconds. This is everything from what to wear, to what to eat, to which email to answer first. Your brain is just a relentless decision-making machine. But here's the real kicker. Over 99% of those decisions, they're made on autopilot. They are completely subconscious, just happening in the background without you even realizing it. They're just habits, routines, and conditioned responses that you've built up over years and years. And for Alex, this was a huge wake-up call. He realized his entire morning routine, hitting snooze 3 times, mindlessly scrolling his phone, taking the exact same crowded train, even his automatic "fine thanks" response, it was all a pre-written script. He wasn't actively choosing any of it. So the first step to changing his life wasn't some grand gesture. It was simply waking up to this invisible programming that was running his life. All right, so once you're aware of this autopilot, the next step is to completely redefine what a decision even is. And the answer, as the book so brilliantly points out, is hidden right in the word itself. So the author points out this really powerful insight. The word decision actually comes from the Latin roots de, which means off, and cadere, which means to cut. So to truly decide isn't just to pick an option from a list, it is to literally cut off all other options. It's an act of total commitment. This completely reframes the whole concept from a passive choice to this active, powerful declaration of, this is what I'm doing. And this is a brilliant illustration of how Alex applied this at work. Before, he was trying to keep 5 different projects moving forward at the same time, giving just a little bit of attention to each. And the result? Well, he was spread thin, constantly stressed, and making mediocre progress on everything. After this insight, he made a true decision. He identified the one single most critical project and ruthlessly cut off the others. He delegated, delayed, or just deleted non-essential tasks. He went from juggling to executing with surgical focus, and the results were immediate: clarity, momentum, and real, tangible success. Okay, so now let's tackle the biggest hurdle for so many of us, that crippling fear of making the wrong choice, which leads to the comfort of making no choice at all. This is decision paralysis, and it is the absolute enemy of progress. The book puts it perfectly. We are so conditioned to fear failure that we spend countless hours trying to guarantee the perfect outcome, which of course is impossible. The author argues that imperfect action is infinitely better than perfect inaction. And why is that? Because a wrong decision gives you feedback. It gives you data. You learn, you adjust, you pivot. But no decision at all? That guarantees only one thing. You stay exactly where you are, stuck in the same loop. So to break free from this paralysis, the book offers a really powerful framework, the DECIDE method. This transforms a huge emotional choice into a clear, logical process. First, you define the real problem, not just the symptoms. For Alex, the problem wasn't, "I hate my job." It was, "My role lacks autonomy and a path for growth." Next, you explore your alternatives, no judgment. Then you consider the potential consequences of each path, good and bad. After that, you identify your choice and fully commit. You cut off the other options. Then you develop a concrete plan of action, your first few steps. And finally, you evaluate the outcome, ready to learn and adapt. This step-by-step approach gave Alex the clarity he needed to finally move from overthinking to taking decisive action. We never compromise on the depth of our summaries. If you're finding this valuable and want to help us create more, maybe consider supporting the channel by joining our membership for exclusive content. Coming up next is the one rule that Alex used to completely redesign his daily habits and ultimately his success. This is where the compound interest of choice really starts to work its magic. Okay, so once you have a framework for making the big decisions, the real magic happens when you apply that same intentionality to the thousands of tiny little choices you make every single day. And this brings us to probably the most practical and life-changing concept in the entire book: mastering your micro decisions. Look, your life isn't defined by a few huge choices. It's the sum total of thousands of tiny decisions compounded over time. The choice to get up or hit snooze, to scroll social media or read one page of a book, to grab fast food or pack a healthy lunch. On their own, they seem insignificant, right? But over 5 years, they determine exactly who you become, the health you have, and the success you achieve. So if you ever feel like your environment is working against you, it's worth asking, have my subconscious micro decisions created this reality? And here's exactly how Alex put this into action. He didn't try to change everything at once. He just started by focusing on winning the first hour of his day. So instead of hitting snooze and starting the day with a loss, he decided to get up on the first alarm. Boom, a small win. Instead of grabbing his phone and just flooding his brain with stress from news and emails, he spent 2 minutes on gratitude journaling. Another small win. And instead of eating a sad sandwich at his desk, he committed to a 15-minute walk outside. These small conscious choices created this powerful positive feedback loop that just cascaded through his entire day, giving him more energy and a feeling of control. And this all leads us to the final, most empowering pillar. When you master your micro decisions and you have a framework for your big decisions, you can finally shed that victim mentality and step into the role you were always meant to play, the architect of your own destiny. This is all about radical responsibility. So the crucial point here is this: all the book's pillars for effective decision-making really boil down to one thing: ownership. It's about getting clarity on what you truly want because you can't hit a target you can't see. It's about cultivating a growth mindset where every choice, good or bad, is a lesson, not a life sentence. And it's about committing to your path and trusting your own judgment. Your life today is the result of your past decisions, and truly embracing that fact is the first step toward creating the future you actually want. So fast forward 6 months, Alex isn't just surviving anymore, he's thriving. By consciously applying these principles, he built this unstoppable momentum. The confidence from his micro wins gave him the courage to make bigger, better choices at work, using that DECIDE framework. He stopped blaming his circumstances and started architecting his own solutions. And the result? He landed that major promotion, finally felt in control of his career, and developed that quiet confidence he had once envied in others. Okay, now it's your turn to put this into practice. I'm challenging you over the next 7 days to consciously change just one micro decision. Don't try to overhaul your whole life. Just pick one small thing. Maybe it's swapping one soda for a glass of water. Maybe it's putting your phone away 30 minutes before bed. Whatever it is, commit to it and prove to yourself that you are in the driver's seat. Go ahead and let me know in the comments what you're going to choose. So, to recap, we've covered the power of understanding your 35,000 daily choices, the art of cutting off alternatives to truly commit, a framework to escape paralysis, and the immense power of mastering your microdecisions. If you could only implement one of these today, which one would it be? I really want to leave you with this final, empowering message from the book. It doesn't matter what choices you've made in the past. The power to change your entire trajectory is available to you right now, in this very moment, with the very next choice you make. It is never, ever too late. If you enjoyed this look at mastering your choices, you will absolutely love my deep dive into James Clear's Atomic Habits. It's the perfect companion piece, really. It shows you exactly how to build the systems for those micro decisions we talked about. You can watch that explainer right here. Thanks so much for watching. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.